Welcome back, everybody. It is the month of December, which means it is time once again to unbox the latest shipment from my good friends at Video Games Monthly. I just have to crack this box open, free it from its priority mail prison, and we will find out what games are inside. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of noise happening in there. I am excited to see what's inside. So let's get this guy ripped open. Oh, good. The seal was not as bad this time. So what is Video Games Monthly? Video Games Monthly is a monthly subscription service where you can get 3, 4, 5, or 10 games sent directly to your front door. I opt for the 5-up box, which means I get 5 games. This isn't a rental service. You curate the games in your collection. You're able to say what you own, what you don't own, and they will send you games based on the stuff that you don't already have. Now, this is a human-run service, so errors do happen, mistakes are made. We are a forgiving people. And if they do happen, you just got to reach out to customer service. They'll take care of you. Joe and the team is fantastic. They will make sure that you get the games that you were supposed to get. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay. Welcome to Square Pegs, and that's right. It is time once again to unbox our latest shipment from Video Games Monthly. And how do I do that? I look right down this camera. I talk to you directly. I open this box. I do a blind draw, and we find out together what's inside at the same time. Sometimes I can't see because I'm old and I'm holding it up to the camera, and I just hope that you guys get a bit of a kick out of it. You get a little bit of a laugh, and that's really all I'm looking for here. So I enjoy this service. I love this service. I think they do something really great for video game collectors, and for someone who had to restart his video game collection a couple of years ago, this has been an invaluable service to me to bring retro games back to me. Now, what consoles do I get games for? I go NES, Famicom, Master System, Genesis, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Dreamcast, Wii U. Might be more in there, I don't know. I always forget at least one, and if I didn't this time, it's a first. And there'll be a party popper that goes off now saying that I got them all correct.
And there was much rejoicing.
But let's find out. I will open this up right now. We're going to look right down this camera, and we will find out together what's inside. First and foremost, I believe we have a sticker sheet. Let's find out. It is... Hey, it's a holiday decorated Mario. He's on ice skates. That's awesome. He's going to be holding that candy cane like a hockey stick. You better believe that. All right, that's actually, I really like that. I really like that. All right, we got a card here. This is our social card, our brand new social card that says, "We hope you enjoy your box. Remind you to update your list online to make sure that you are not going to be sent duplicates." And it also offers the opportunity to enter a chance to win a free 3-up box. That's right, 3 free games sent directly to your front door just for sharing your experience online with Video Games Month. There is, of course, bubble wrap. We do love the bubble wrap. The bubble wrap is always useful. And now, as always, I tend to do a blind feel here to see what we have. That is a weird feeling game. I have no idea what that is. This is a Famicom game. That is NES, and Famicom. So it feels a lot of cartridge-based stuff this month. So that's awesome. So first and foremost, what do I do with cartridge-based stuff? I always make sure that I clean it. Joe and the team tend to clean their stuff, but picky, so I like to clean my stuff by myself, and I use a combination of 1-up cards to clean the just general grime off of, and if it is something that's a little bit more gnarly, I use some Bright Boy, and then I go over it once again with isopropyl alcohol and a 1-up card. There's a wet side and a dry side. 1-up cards are money. If you don't have any, be sure to pick some up. I'm going to do this weird feeling one last. I have a feeling it's just an unlicensed Genesis game, but we're going to find out. All right, let's do NES, then let's do Famicom, then NES, then Weirdo game. All right, first off, 3, 2, 1, we have... Yeah, no, see, this doesn't help. Whenever I do these blind draws and it's a Famicom game, and it's just these random cards that just have some lettering on them, I don't know what they are. So we're going to have to turn around, and you're going to get to laugh at the old man now. It is... Oh, Donkey Kong 3. Okay, that's awesome. I believe it or not, so legit, I've never actually played this game. Let's take a look now at Donkey Kong 3, and we'll talk about this one. First up, I want to apologize for how my voice is going to sound in this video. I've come down with something since I did the unboxing. It's been a couple of days since I actually opened the mail, but I hope you can forgive me for sounding a little bit off this video. Welcome to maybe the 3rd or 4th time of me ever playing Donkey Kong 3. I can't remember if I said in the actual video if I'd never played it before, but I can't remember too many times if I have played it. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't remember ever playing it, but I'm sure I have somewhere in the 40 years I've been playing video games, but this is a weird game. It's not bad, it's just very different than anything I'm used to. So, from what I can tell, the objective is the game is you're a dude with an atomizer that's used to kill bugs, and you spray the bug spray up Donkey Kong's ass to make him go to the top of the ropes. I mean, it's a weird premise. I don't really know that it's a bad premise, but it is a weird premise. But is it any weirder than you being a plumber who's running around jumping up and grabbing hammers to knock out barrels and flames? I don't really think it is. It's a weird title. I'm excited to own it because I do love Donkey Kong in all its ways, shapes, and forms, so this is a neat new thing to have and a neat new thing somehow that's 40 years old for me to play. But it is a weird concept. Watch out for those atomizers, Donkey Kong. That's super cool. I do love getting Famicom games. The Famicom is one of my favorite platforms to collect for, and like 80% of my collection has come from VGM, so it's super awesome. I really enjoy it. All right, next Famicom title. Let's see. It is a black cartridge. And 3, 2, 1. Tetris! Hot damn, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Tetris, yeah. I mean, everyone knows Tetris. If you don't know Tetris, I'm sorry. If you do know Tetris, you know exactly what you're getting into. But let's take a look now at Tetris on the Famicom. I was really excited when I saw Tetris because, I mean, Tetris is an all-time classic. It's one of the single greatest games ever made. And maybe I'm just spoiled by the way that Nintendo designs their Tetris games or the way the Tetris Company designs their Tetris games. But this one here, this is Tetris from Bulletproof Software, and guys, it's not good. It's an unpleasant experience. Now, it's Tetris. You still stack your bricks to make the lines to make them disappear, but the controls are weird. There's blocks that are missing. The music isn't good. This is like the Wish.com version of Tetris. It's just not a terribly fun game to play when you're so used to basically what Nintendo released on the Game Boy and on the NES, which were nearly picture perfect, and that pretty much every version of Tetris has copied since then. I'm interested in the fact that there's other versions of Tetris. I think subconsciously I knew there were some out there, like I knew about the Tengen version for the NES, but I never really stopped to think about any Famicom releases. So as far as owning it, pretty cool. Do I need to really play it ever again? Not so much. All right, we'll do NES and then the Weird Feeling cartridge last. All right, this one. Okay, this is going in the right direction. 3, 2, 1. Punch-Out! Oh, wow, that's awesome. This is Punch-Out with Mr. Dream, not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's okay. I know a lot of people prefer Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I don't really care. They both play exactly the same. And if they don't, if there are like frame differences on the Mr. Dream release, I don't want to hear about it. Anyway, let's look at Punch-Out right now on the NES. Punch-Out sans Mike Tyson is, I mean, it's great. Like, if you've played an NES, you've played Punch-Out in some way, shape, or form. It's a boxing game. You play as Little Mac, you find the patterns for each boxer that you're going to fight, and you work your way through the different Video Boxing Association rankings. It's brilliant. It still works. Like, this game is, I think, 38 years old, and there's still muscle memory in play here when I hop into the game. The music in the game is wonderful. The sprites of the boxers that you're facing are massive and just dwarf your character, so it really feels like a David and Goliath story, and you find yourself getting drawn into it. I've never beaten this game. I've gotten to Tyson plenty of times, but I've never actually beaten him, and I've certainly never beaten this one because this is Mr. Dream, and I didn't own this one when I was younger, but I think I'm going to put this on the docket to beat in 2024. I want to beat Punch-Out. I want to be able to claim the World Championship as my own. And I'm so tickled to have this. Like, this is one of those types of games that I never think of coming in Video Games Monthly. Actually, there's a lot of games in this box this month that I kind of think of like that. This one, Tetris, for some reason, even though Tetris is kind of ubiquitous, and I think I've gotten a Tetris game from them before, but these are games that I think of as kind of like, in comic book terms, these are key issues, right? These are ones that collectors scoop up that want to have in their collection and don't let go of. And to get it in my collection from VGM is huge. I can't tell them how much I appreciate it. And I can't wait to beat Mr. Dream. It's going to happen. A little bit worried about the rattliness inside, but hopefully it works. We'll be taking that one all the way apart and making sure that is clean and good to go. All right, next game for the NES is 3, 2, 1. Strider, one of my absolute favorite games. Legitimately one of my favorite experiences as a kid was playing this game. It is unforgiving, it is ball-bustingly hard, and it is fantastic. I was contented to never own the NES version of Strider ever again because I have it on the Capcom Classics Mini Mix for the Game Boy Advance. And that was enough for me because it's a faithful adaptation and a faithful port of the NES release. But I'm not gonna lie, I was really happy to see the NES version of Strider in this box because as frustrating a game as this is, as insanely difficult a game as this is, as unforgiving a game as this is one of those signature childhood memories for me. This is core memory re-unlocked. Something I've always held a candle for a long time, but I had just resigned the fact that I never really needed to own it again, but here it is, and I'm excited. You play as Strider Hiryu, you go through a bunch of different levels. It is a Metroidvania where you get to choose where you're going to go the further into the game you get. You unlock different abilities, different weapons, different power-ups, and it's hard. It is super duper hard. If you have never played it, be prepared for one of the most frustrating experiences of your gaming life because it does not pull any punches. The jumping is hard. The angles of the jumps are difficult. The lining up of the hitboxes for your enemies is difficult. It is an unforgiving title, but all the same, I love it. And yeah, I'll say it. I like it more than the arcade release. I like it more than the Genesis release. I think NES Strider is magnificent. Even with all its flaws, I think it's great. Okay, now, this is such a weird cartridge. I have no idea what this is. I'm perplexed. It is a black cartridge. It does say Sega on the back. Maybe this? I don't know what this is. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, Virtual Racing. Cool. That's awesome. That's really neat. All right, let's take a look at Virtual Racing. And we might do a side-by-side comparing this to the 32X version, because I have Virtual Racing on the 32X. We'll do that on like a short or something like that, but let's take a look at Virtual Racing right now for the Genesis.
3, 2, 1, go!
Now, I know nothing about this version of Virtual Racing. I've only ever played the arcade versions and the 32X versions, so this is my first time ever playing Virtual Racing on the Genesis, so I don't know if this is true to the game or this is just an issue with my controller or what, but this game is terrible. And that's no fault of VGM. I'm pretty sure this is just a bad game. My experience is that I can't turn. It's not like any other racing game I've ever played where I hold down going right or left and I will turn right or left depending on which direction I'm holding down on. No, for this one, I have to tap repeatedly on the direction I want to turn in order to turn even like 1 or 2 degrees. I never complete a full turn. I have to bounce off the walls. Which is terrible because Virtual Racing itself is a spectacular game and it plays beautifully well on the 32X. Now I'm using an aftermarket controller. I'm using the Big 6 from Retrobit, but I've never had any other performance issues on any of my other 75 or 80 Genesis games that I own. It's always worked beautifully well, so I don't think it's an issue with the controller. I just think this is a bad game. If you have played this one or you own this one, let me know your experiences with it in the comments down below. Pretty darn cool month, right? Like, there's some absolutely excellent games in that pack. I mean, I don't know values yet. You guys know values, and if you've been doing the math along with me as I'm adding things up, you know whether or not I did well. But I'm going to go away now. I'm going to add these up, and after these messages, we'll be right back.
And now, back to He-Man.
All right, I am back. Everything is totaled up, and I made out like a bandit this month. I pay $44.95 for the 5-up box. That does not include shipping. Shipping is an additional charge, of course, but the cost of doing business. Frequently when you buy things online, you gotta pay for shipping. We've been spoiled by Amazon, but for my 5 games that I got, my value comes out to $59.21 on the date of this recording on December 4th, 2023, and I have zero complaints about that. And not only did I get all these great games, I got this thing. Like, I'm legitimately stoked about this. I kind of love, I mean, I'm a Christmas nut anyway, so I love getting stuff like this that features my favorite video game characters in a Christmas setting. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite game is that I got this month. Let me know if you are a Video Games Monthly subscriber and how your month turned out. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. I appreciate you being here. I wish you the happiest of holidays. Remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.